Hello everybody, my name is Keith Allen. I'm Director of Sales for Encantame Resorts. We're the only master plan community located in Puerto Peñasco, approximately 15 minutes east of the city.
Hey Gen Mex, you just met Keith. I am Brighton, if you don't already know me. I'm almost retired in Mexico, and I help folks like you to make that transition to Mexico happen. So in this video, we're going to be talking about something that I've never really looked at before, which is kind of these more upscale developments in Mexico. They're all around, but for some reason in my 4 years of doing this channel, I just haven't really come across this. So I'm really excited to be in Puerto Peñasco, also known as Rocky Point, and that is about 4 hours south of Phoenix. So just an hour inside of Mexico, and it's at the tip of the Gulf of California. So that you might not know that much about. Lots of folks from Arizona come over here. But let's get from Keith a little bit of the overview, maybe a little bit of an introduction to Puerto Peñasco, and then specifically to Encantame Resorts. Encantame? Yes, Encantame.
Puerto Peñasco, as Brighton had mentioned, is 1 hour south of the U.S. border. We're approximately a 4-hour drive from Phoenix or Tucson. We have a huge expat community here. And why? Because of our vicinity to the States. For example, I've lived here full time for 10 years. I can receive Amazon Prime packages. I have a P.O. box at the border. I have my mail delivered to my condo. I have DirecTV just as if I lived in Arizona. So there are a lot of conveniences to living here. We are located at the tip of the Sea of Cortez. The Sea of Cortez is a beautiful body of water if you're not familiar with it. The temperature of the water is much warmer than the Pacific or the Atlantic, number one. Number two, there are days where it's smooth as glass and it looks like a lake. And there are other days where we have beautiful white caps and we have everything in between. The people here are very friendly. The culture is great. And this is a great place to live.
So I just got the overview of Puerto Peñasco from Mary Snyder, who's someone I met in La Paz through Blanca. So all of Mexico is really just a small town. I love it here. So Mary set me up with a condo over on the sandy beach. So really there are condos along Sandy Beach on one side of Puerto Peñasco, and then on the other side is where we are now. And this is kind of the newer part of Puerto Peñasco. So let's hear more specifically about Encantame. We'll talk about pricing, we'll talk about what you can get for your dollar or your peso, and we'll talk about who lives here and what kind of person is really attracted to this type of lifestyle here in Mexico.
As Brian had mentioned, there's the Sandy Beach or the west side of town. That was started to be developed in the early 90s. And then pretty much all that land is spoken for. And so similar to other cities in Mexico, for example, Puerto Vallarta, the entire city was built up. So then on the other side of the airport, they created Nuevo Vallarta. So now we have Nuevo Peñasco. So we are on the new up and coming side of Peñasco. We are located on Playa Encanto, which all the locals, any of our visitors, any of the tourists will agree is the best beach here. It's just pure, pristine sand. We're located approximately 15 minutes from the international airport. We do have an international airport, but we do not have commercial flights right now, but the city is working on that. But if someone wants to come in with a private charter, they can do so. We are a master plan community, 150 acres total. We have different price points and different product offerings depending on what your budget and depending on what your desires are. For example, we have 600 meters of beachfront. My office here is located in Encantame Towers, which was our premier project, which we broke ground on about 6 years ago. It's fully completed. What makes us different than any other resorts in Rocky Point and also in Mexico or the state of Sonora is we have the tallest buildings. Our buildings are 24 stories tall, taller than any buildings in the state of Sonora. State of Sonora is the second largest state in Mexico. We have 2 skytop pools. We're the only ones in town that have skytop pools. We have heated and chilled lazy rivers. We have kid slides. We have 2 clubhouses. We have golf simulators. Our condos in Encantame Towers, we have resales available that are turnkey, fully furnished, fully equipped kitchen. You can come down, fall in love, and literally move in with a couple weeks and start living the lifestyle you want. Approximately half of my owners rent, the other half do not. So I live here at the resort, And I have neighbors nearby that rent. And the beautiful thing about that is if I need a guest house, I can rent their condo. And so my nephew can stay there and he and his family have privacy and I have my privacy as well. Then next door, we introduced Encantame Soleil, like Cirque du Soleil, and that is a new improved version of Encantame Towers. We took the feedback from all of our 300 plus clients that purchased what they liked about the floor plans, what amenities we needed to add, etc. And so we had just in the process of completing the first building, and we'll be delivering that first building here starting next month. We have sold over 250 condos in 2 years, so we're literally selling them like hotcakes. And the reason for that is normally in Mexico, when you go to purchase a beachfront condo, a house in town in El Centro, everything is cash. Cash, cash, cash. That's the only way you can really buy in Mexico. Here in Puerto Peñasco and Encantame Resorts, we offer no qualify, 20-year long-term financing, and it's fully assumable. First of all, no qualify. We don't ask for a credit score. We don't ask any personal information. All you need is a social security number and the down payment. You qualify for the loan. If you own the condo for 5 years and you want to sell it, someone can come in and pay cash for it if you'd like, or they can assume that note. So again, it'd be no qualify. There's an assumption fee, but it makes owning a beachfront condo much more affordable than you think. Our down payments start as low as 20% and our interest rates go as low as 5.9. So our interest rates are very comparable to the States. Now, if a beachfront condo is not within your desires or within your budget, we also have Encantame Estates. Encantame Estates is a custom home subdivision which has direct access to the beach. And so we're the only subdivision in town here where you would not have to get in a car and drive 15 minutes to go to the beach. You literally can walk to the beach. We have sold over 100 lots. We currently have 6 or 7 custom homes under construction, 2 model homes that are under construction as well. And the reason those sold so well is because we're a master plan community. We also have a racket club. We have the largest racket club in the state of Sonora. We have 12 pickleball courts, 2 tennis courts, and a sports court, and we have room for expansion. And then back to Encantame Estates, they're also going to have their own community pool, clubhouse, fitness center, and grilling area.
So when Keith and I first talked and he mentioned the financing, yeah, that is something that is very uncommon in Mexico, especially at low rates. There is some financing available at very high rates and at very short terms, like 5 years or something like that, and 10% or something. So this is really a unique way of offering this. And I think it just shows you they're knowing that these are going to go up in value. I think the developers may be not too worried if they get something back because someone doesn't pay their note, because it's going to be more valuable in the future. So I'm going to ask Keith to talk about that. And then we're going to actually take a tour of a couple of the units here and show you what you're getting inside a unit. I want to talk about furnishing the units, all that kind of stuff, but I also want to dig into how you know if you're buying something pre-construction, how you know that you're going to get the building in the end. Because people have seen it. I've seen it around Mexico, these kind of skeleton buildings. They exist. Things happen in Mexico, probably more than they happen in the United States. So we're going to have Keith really dig into so you can understand a little bit more about, which buildings are going to complete.
As Brian just mentioned, you really need to be careful with pre-construction, whether it's in the States or especially in Mexico. There are many, many fly-by-night developers that come in, they take your money, and then sometimes you may get your condo, sometimes you may not. Sometimes it might take 5 to 10 years. The developer I work for, MG Developments, has been down here for almost 30 years. This is their 10th development here in town, combined with commercial and residential in Guadalajara as well. And everything that we have begun construction on, I am happy to report we have completed. Why? Because we are well financed. And as Brian mentioned about appreciation, he is correct about the financing, because when you buy pre-construction, you make a lot of money, a lot of equity in your condo, in your lot, in your home before you even take possession. For example, I have clients that are up $100,000 to $150,000 since they put their initial 30% down on a condo 2 years ago when we were selling off of renderings and off of a dream. And now they're going to be receiving their condo next year, or this month, I'm sorry. So what's really nice about pre-construction is you can make a lot of equity. If you want, I have some clients that buy them just with the sheer desire to flip it and make a profit. I have others that end up buying it. They use it for a while. They have a lot of rental income. And then what ends up happening is they usually want to upgrade from a studio to a one bedroom to a two bedroom to a three bedroom. So it gives people an opportunity to test the waters here in Mexico. For those of you that are really interested in coming and checking it out, I just want to mention we do also offer long-term leases or a lease with option to purchase. This gives you an opportunity to come down here, live for 6 months, see all the benefits that I see living here. And then if you decide you love it as much as most of us do, then you can go ahead and purchase something. If not, if this is not your cup of tea, or maybe we're not the right city for you in Mexico, that's fine. Then you basically lease the condo for several months and you move on and we remain friends. So we try to make it as flexible and as easy as possible for you to come down and check out the lifestyle here. The people are incredible. The food is incredible. The cost of living here is incredible. I own a condo that's worth about $750,000 US, and my property taxes, believe it or not, are a whopping $500 a year. The electric is so cheap here, it's built every other month. I live here full time with dogs and a partner and air conditioning and heating and everything going on. And I pay a whopping $75 a month. So what is there not to like?
So yeah, I think, the ability to come and rent somewhere and to rent exactly where you're going to purchase, that is really great because you really get an idea for what the community has to offer, I guess. So let's, Kat and I, if you followed the channel for a while, you know that we went down to La Paz, a city we'd never heard of, and we bought a house that weekend. So not necessarily what I would suggest for people to do. Definitely renting first is an ideal situation. But let me ask Keith how often he comes across those people who buy on a whim.
To Brian's point about people coming down and buying on a whim, you would be shocked at how many people come down first time here. They see what we have to offer and then they see the price point. For example, I have studios in the 300s. Okay, I have one bedrooms that are almost 1,200 square feet in the 400s. Again, with financing, we offer cash discounts so I can get you a better price. People come here from the States. And if any of you have looked at beachfront property in Southern California, in Florida, you will find a one bedroom that might have been built in the 1970s that needs to be gutted and remodeled. And they won $1.5 million for that. And I can get you a brand new shiny penny for pennies on the dollar. So to Brighton's point, we have a lot of people that literally, when they go sign the paperwork, they literally say, I cannot believe we're doing this, but they do it. And then what's fascinating is they go home and they tell all of their friends and family about it, and then they bring everyone down. So then we have a sense of community here. So their family members, their neighbors, their hairstylists will come down and buy. So it creates a whole sense of community. You would think because we're a drive-in destination that we're just Arizona, Southern California, Nevada, maybe a little bit of Texas. But I have people from Chicago. I have people from North Dakota. I have people from Florida, and I'll tell you why. What ends up happening is they usually have family in Phoenix, maybe in a retirement community such as Sun City West. They come to visit. They find out about Rocky Point, aka Puerto Peñasco. We're known as Arizona's beach. They drive down here on a whim and they are just blown away. They're blown away by our food scene. They're blown away by the culture. They're blown away by the pristine, beautiful beaches we have. The editor of Phoenix Magazine, which I've never met this gentleman, but he did an editorial a few years back on Playa Encanto, which is where we're located here. And he said our beach rivals that of Maui. And if any of you have been in Hawaii again, to buy a condo over there is astronomically high. It's out of most of our budgets. The other thing there, as well as in other cities in Mexico, HOAs are extremely high. In Hawaii, HOAs could run 12, 15, 1,800 a month. Our HOAs start here at $325 a month. That includes unlimited water, sewer, garbage, insurance on the community itself. The only fiber optic internet, the only thing it does not include is your electricity and your property taxes, which I already mentioned earlier. We are currently in our two-bedroom deluxe. It's a one-of-a-kind floor plan here in Mexico, and honestly, we've not even found one in the United States as well. And the reason it's unique is it has a wraparound terrace, and most end units are a 3-4 bedroom. They're much more expensive, so it's out of people's budgets. So we decided to offer something that is more economical, that gives you a 2-bed, 2.5 bath with a beautiful wraparound terrace that gives you a panoramic view of our beautiful beach. We also pride ourselves in the majority of our floor plans, all of the bedrooms face the ocean. So that is a very important thing when you have house guests over, and I've had clients who are like, oh, I'll let my house guests have the primary. We'll sit in the back because they want to enjoy the view. Well, here you don't have to worry about that. Or if you have two couples renting, you don't have to flip a coin to say who's going to get the better view or who's going to get the better primary, because this offers 2 primary bedrooms. We snuck in a guest bath in the back. It's approximately 1,700 square feet under roofs. It's large enough for someone to live here full time. So we have many, many people that live here 6 months out of the year. They go somewhere else for another 6 months. We have a lot of clients that live here full time because our units are designed and are large enough to live here if you want, or they also can make a great luxury rental.
So this unit is on the market, so let's hear what this will set you back.
This particular unit up on the penthouse level, East 2305, is priced at $619,900. We have assumable developer financing on this with an interest rate of approximately 7.9%. You can come in with a down payment and assume the note. If you would like, you can pay cash, and then obviously cash is king, and we'll grant you a discount. This particular client purchased this condo pre-construction, and they paid somewhere in the high 4s before furniture. So they are going to make a nice return on their investment.
And you can rent this unit too if you're interested.
This particular unit, as Brighton mentioned, is in the rental pool. So again, you can take it for a test drive. Before buying it, if you just want to spend 3 nights in it, you literally can live in the space. That's very hard to come by in a lot of, whether it's the United States or in Mexico. So you can take this for a test drive. You and your family can check it out. You're like, this is great, and you're ready to roll. If you decide to rent, Costco is our on-site rental company. They've been in the business for 25 plus years. They do the majority of rentals here in Mexico as well as in the States. And we offer a menu approach on rentals. If you would like to do nothing and they handle everything for you, property management, reservations, cleaning, the whole 9 yards, they charge 35%, so you keep 65 cents of every dollar. If you're on that program, but you have friends and family, maybe a coworker who wants to rent your condo, you can go in and book it directly, and they will treat you like a travel agent because they pay travel agents 15% commission. So then you would only pay 20% on that, so you'd receive 80% of every dollar. Then we have what we call a front desk service program. That is someone who wants to do Airbnb, Vrbo, maybe you just want to do owner direct rentals. You handle everything, and in exchange for that, the Costco, for their front desk service program, will check IDs. Our minimum rental age is 24 years of age. You'd be surprised how many people want to sneak youngsters in. Also, they check maximum occupancy. For example, in this 2-bedroom, maximum occupancy is 6. Why? 2 in each of the bedrooms, 2 on a sleeper sofa, if the client offers a sleeper sofa. Some do not. And so for that, you pay 10%. And so checking your minimum rental age, checking your occupancy, and they also take care of any emergency maintenance issues. What does that mean? At 11 o'clock at night, if the dishwasher is leaking, they're not going to call you at home while you're asleep. They're going to call down to the front desk, Costco will come up and take care of that for you. Of course, there will be a small fee for that, but they will take care of that for you. So we offer a menu approach. Our clients love that. If you sign up for one program and a year later you decide you want to modify to a different program, you can.
I just love how open this is here in terms of the sliding doors just keep sliding and sliding and sliding until it's so open. Definitely something I've seen a lot in Mexico, and especially if you've got an ocean view. Yeah, I can remember when I was in college and we went down to Matamoros, I think it is, and we rented a place and we weren't 24, and the place was not pretty afterwards. So you definitely want to have that service where they're making sure, especially this close to the United States, in a potential like spring break-ish destination, that someone is helping you manage your rental unit.
Welcome to our sky pool. It's adults only, 21 plus. It's a huge amenity for us. People love to be around their families and kids, but sometimes you just want to get away and have some tranquility and look at these views. Brighton will show you these views. They're incredible. You can see for miles. We have a jacuzzi, we have a pool, and then we also have level 24, which is a bar sushi restaurant that's open on the weekends. So here we are in Wingman. Wingman is a national franchise, casual dining, excellent food. We have 4 dining options here at Towers. The first is Santo Coyote, which is based out of Guadalajara. They have over a 30-year history, family-owned, incredible food. They do tableside salsa to your liking, tableside Caesar salad. They bring a Lobo steak out that's incredible with the flames. Then our clients, our owners, and our guests were asking for a casual dining option, so the developer brought us Wingman, which is what we're in today. So you have wings, sliders, more casual dining, more economical. We have live music on the weekends. We're beachfront. We also have Blue Palm Cafe, which I'm happy to report we're the only one in town that serves Starbucks beverages. You can get burritos to go, salads, sandwiches, that sort of thing. And then up on level 24, which is our skytop pool, which is open on the weekends, we have great mixology and we have a sushi and sandwich menu.
Okay, so clearly this is the type of place that you don't need to leave once you're here. So if that's what you're looking for, this would be a great option for you. Sorry, got a little bit of a cold going on right now. You guys know that I love mezcalitas, so let's give this one a try. The drink is great. You guys smell the smoke coming off of the Jamaica on top. This is perfect for my cold. This will solve my problems. I'm gonna take this one with me. There we go, I got a to-go cup. No glass by the pool. They have foosball, but clearly Keith and I are not foosball experts by any stretch of the imagination.
Hi, I'm Dan Perry. I'm a full-time resident here on West 702. I moved from LA, semi-retire here. I still go back to LA. I have family in Sacramento too. So I'm here about 9-10 months out of the year and back into Southern California. I've been here for about 1.5 years. What I like about here are the amenities, the people, they're friendly, easy place to live, a lot of stuff to do.
Welcome to the Encantame Soleil models. This is called a maqueta in Spanish. This is our 3D model of Encantame Soleil, our brand new development. First Tower Rendezvous is completed. We'll be delivering that here in the next couple weeks. Jubilee, our second tower, we're structure-wise up to about the 14th, 15th floor. And then the third building will be breaking ground on this fall, and that one is located right on the seawall. We have studios that start in the 300s on up to penthouses that are $2.5 million. Again, we've sold over 250 condos in 2 years. The grounds are incredible. I'm going to take Brighton over in a little bit to show you what the grounds are all about. And then we have a 3 deluxe and a 2-bedroom walk-off model here that we're going to show you, and the benefits of owning that solely. We've sold approximately 250 or more to date, and we have about 80 condos or less left, and then we'll be sold out of this development.
So the question is, if you're not one of those 80 people that gets in on this development, what's next?
We have several options for what's next. In the future, we have another 200 meters of beachfront to the west of us. We have not designed those condos yet. We don't know what it's going to look like, but that will be in the future. In the meantime, in the back here, we have Encantame Estates with direct beach access, its own clubhouse, fitness center, and pool. With the Racket Club, as I mentioned before, you can buy a lot and build a home here for pennies on the dollar to what you would pay in the States. Going rate right now is about $100 a foot. And for any of you that look at new construction in the States, you'd be looking at 3-4 times that. Also in the back, out of our 150-acre master plan community, we'll be offering other condominiums, townhomes, and things to come. So this is our 2-bedroom lock-off. We're about ready to go in and take a look at the model. It's been our #1 seller here in Encantame Soleil. Why? You're basically buying 2 condos in one. So on one side you have a 1-bedroom deluxe, and there is an electric door that gives you privacy on the terrace, as well double doors in between the two. So what's great about this, if you live here full time or you're staying here on the weekend, you can still rent the studio out and you have rental income coming in. Vice versa. If the 1-bedroom's rented but your studio's not rented and you want to come down on a whim, you can go ahead and stay in the studio side. For my owners that do not rent, what they love about it is this is a guest house. So if their kids are coming in at 2 o'clock in the morning from the bar scene, they have a separate entrance. They can come and go as they please. Their family and friends have privacy. They have their own 9-foot kitchenette in the back here, complete with a cooktop, microwave, 18 cubic foot refrigerator, so you can literally cook a meal, king size bed, living area. So that's why this has been our #1 seller, and we only have a handful of units left. Here we are in our 2 lock-off model. As I mentioned earlier, this is the 1-bedroom deluxe. So it's approximately 1,300 square feet. I'd have to look at the floor plans. We have so many to offer. But what you see in here is what you get. That's what's very different about us. If you go to a lot of model homes, you walk in, you fall in love with it, and they're like, oh, well, if you want that, that's going to cost you another $50,000 in upgrades for the floor, the countertops. Everything in here is included. The only thing in this particular model that's not are the GE Cafe upgraded appliances. We do offer GE Profile. They're high quality, but if somebody wants to upgrade their appliances, they can. If you step in out here, one of the key features of this condo is this electric sliding door. So if you happen to have guests over or you're renting the other side, you can simply close that off. They have their own privacy and you have your own privacy here as well. However, if you like the people that are staying with you, you can have a much larger terrace and you can enjoy the entire condo together. What we ended up doing on this, the original idea was like a 1-bedroom suite in a Marriott. However, I've stayed in a 1-bedroom suite in a Marriott. You get a coffee maker, a microwave, and maybe a sink, and that's it. We wanted to take it a step further. So this is a 9-foot kitchen. So you have a 4-burner cooktop, a microwave, and an 18 cubic foot refrigerator with a sink. So if you want to grab some shrimp down at the fish market, you can bring it back. You want to go out deep sea fishing, you want to cook your own meal. If you have little ones, you want to save a little money, you can cook a meal here. Again, it's 2 condos in one, so this has a separate door lock, has a full-size washer and dryer. So you literally could live in here if you wanted to, economically, and because you have all the conveniences of home. So Brian was asking me how much it costs to furnish. It depends on what you want to do. Because again, we're so close to Phoenix, Tucson, many of my clients buy their furniture there and then transport it down. Keeping in mind there's a 19% importation tax at the border plus freight. So if a sofa costs $1,000 in the States, it's going to cost you probably $1,300 here between freight and the importation tax. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. We have 2 huge furniture stores here in town that will do window coverings, artwork, everything for you, and you basically only have to equip the kitchen. So budget-wise, I've had people do as little as $8,000 in a 1-bedroom from IKEA, and I've had people spend up to $100,000 in a penthouse from Copenhagen and from high-end luxury designers. It just depends on what fits your desires, your needs, and your budget. Okay, now we're in our 3 Deluxe model, which has also been one of our best sellers. We only have 2 left in the central tower. We just released this floor plan in our final tower, and we've already sold 4 in the last month. What's beautiful about this particular condo is it's 3-bed, 3.5 bath with a huge wraparound terrace and a huge kitchen, 2 primaries facing the ocean with an ensuite bath, a bedroom tucked in the back with an ensuite bath, plus a huge pantry. And we designed the shower in the primary so that you can see the beautiful ocean view from the shower. So this is our new 1-bedroom model. We had 3 units left in the first tower. It's hard for a lot of you to envision what a condo is going to look like when it's furnished. So people walk in, they're like, oh, the rooms feel small. And once you furnish a unit, people are like, wow, this place is so spacious. So right before July 4th weekend, we decided to furnish this. This cost $20,000 minus the TV and a couple little details from the States. We sold it right away. And so we now, and actually we sold 2, so we only have 2 left. And so I'm in the process of furnishing another one, but that's why we do furnished models, is so people can visualize what it looks like. Plus in this particular case, they took the furniture package as is because there's no work to do. Simply move in and start enjoying it.
So speaking of enjoying it, if you're ready to enjoy one of these condos, to enjoy this lifestyle, you can get in touch with Keith. Make sure that you tell them that I sent you, because he's promised me copious amounts of margaritas if I send clients his way. So be sure to do that. So thank you so much, Keith, for giving us this tour of something that I haven't had anything like this on the channel. You know what? There's one last thing that I want Keith to talk about, and that is how to know that the resort's going to get finished.
So advice to all of you, if you're looking at pre-construction, no matter where it is, please do your research. Research your developer. Ask them, how many developments have they done? Are they all completed? Were they completed on time? Do your research. Once you do your research, for example, with the developer MG Developments with Encantame Resorts, you will see they have a 30-year track record. Everything they have promised to build has been built, and in many cases, not even better. Perfect examples during COVID, a lot of people thought we were not going to complete our resort because we had a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic, and I'm happy to report, yes, we were late by a few months because we were shut down. It was not an essential industry in Mexico. But we delivered, we pivoted, we changed different appliances. We didn't want to use any excuses because people have waited long enough for the condos. So please, please do your research. Ask to speak to current clients. Ask to speak to previous clients. Make sure you make a fully informed decision before you purchase.
Yeah, and Mary told me the story of the appliances because she was working with them on this project. And during the pandemic, they just couldn't get appliances that they had planned on getting because the whole world was shut down. And so you remember the supply chain problems. So they got good, high quality appliances, just different ones.
So if you're interested in any more information about Encantame Resorts, you can go to encantameresorts.com. We have all of our different product offerings on there. You can contact me personally on WhatsApp. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I would love to hear if you reached out to us because of this video with Brighton.
that's going to wrap up this video. Once again, tell Keith that I sent you if you decide to purchase because of this video, and definitely watch some other videos. I've got other videos up here, others from Rocky Point, Puerto Peñasco, if I've got them, other videos of other foreigners who are living in Mexico and loving it so that you can too. Hasta luego. Wish you were here in Puerto Peñasco, Mexico.